to Chamber Chat. Joining us today will be the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. The Better Business Bureau, serving New Mexico and Southwest Colorado, relies on our partnerships with local industry and cultural chambers to better serve both communities. Please welcome Jamie Church with the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. How you doing this morning, Jamie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing super good. Do have to just kind of do a quick little commercial for using sunscreen. If you're looking at the screen, you can see that I've got some sun damage on my forehead. So please focus on Jamie. It'll be much more pleasant to look at her. But hey, summer, I mean, we're just coming out. School's about to go back in session. Just curious, how is things going up in Farmington?
Great. Really, really busy. And it's interesting you bring up the teachers and going back to school. We host or co-host a back to school new teacher event every year. And we do that in conjunction with Farmington Municipal Schools. And we have a sponsor, and that's Sandia Labs, the federal credit union. Okay. So they help sponsor it. But this is a neat thing we do to welcome all the new teachers to the district. And so that's coming up on July 31st. And it's fun because we provide breakfast and coffee for the new teachers, but then we ask for swag from all of our chamber members. And those items go in some really fun bags that go to the teachers. So it's just a fun way to welcome the new teachers into the district. And we do that. And so that's coming up next week. Speaking of sunscreen, we just had our golf tournament on just a couple weeks ago on the 12th of July. And that's our Tees and Tunes event, which is a golf tournament. It's kind of a fun scramble event at the country club. And then we follow it up with live music and a barbecue dinner. So we had that just, about a couple weeks ago. So we're just rolling right along and getting ready for the fall activities.
Yeah, one of the things that we love here at the BBB is working with the local chambers, because whereas we represent the whole state as well as Southwest Colorado, we're not as engaged on the local things like working with the teachers or the special fundraising stuff that you're able to do. So we really like to work with our partners with that. Having said that, I know you've got a pretty good group up there, and you also represent kind of the Four Corners area. Talk about maybe some of the unique challenges that your particular chamber has.
Well, I think we're kind of in the same boat that a lot of chambers are, and that's constantly keeping our membership benefits current and relevant for our members. And we've also seen a huge shift here in our area of the state, the northwest corner, with our businesses really shifting to smaller businesses. So businesses that have 10 and under employees. So they have a different set of needs than maybe some of our businesses back in the day when we had a lot of the major oil and gas companies here, such as ConocoPhillips and, BP and Schlumberger. We had all of those here, and they were big chamber members. So now we've seen this shift to more chamber members that are 10 and under employees. And so it's just making sure that we are communicating what we do as a chamber and why it is of benefit to them beyond just having them in the business directory or the ribbon cutting, which those are important, but what are we doing beyond that? And the advocacy piece, I know you all understand this very well. Advocacy is probably the most important thing we do, keeping up with different legislation that could affect the business community, and then communicating that. But it's often done sometimes under the radar. It's not as splashy as a business after hours or a golf tournament, but yet we are constantly trying to keep up with what's happening and what could affect our business community. So that's one of the challenges, I think, and we're not unique in that. I think a lot of chambers face those same challenges. Businesses saying, well, I have a social media page. Why would I need the Chamber of Commerce? But we're so much more than just helping you kind of promote your business. We're doing a lot of other things. So,
well, and I think you're absolutely right. A lot of advocacy we do as well on behalf of businesses. I was reading a statistic the other day that they said the state of New Mexico, 99% of all businesses are small businesses, and 53% of those businesses are also family owned, or 50% of all of the employees work for a small business. And of course, and I know that means that it's probably, husband and wife, family people pitching in. So we know how important it is to help those businesses, because they're trying to do so much with so little, and yet they're also impacting through their purchases, through their spending, the local economy. And I really think that that's where the boots on the ground, having a local chamber membership is so important, as well as the events. Be able to get out there and engage and do business with other chamber members.
Right, exactly. And our chamber here in Farmington, we do a lot of networking events because I feel that it's those face-to-face relationships and building those relationships over time. That's where just a lot of business gets done. And yes, we do have the business directory, the online directory, and it's very important that SEO, or that search engine optimization. If you're a chamber member and you search, it'll tend to come up at the top rather than if you're not a chamber member. But a lot of it is just coming to the events over and over again with your business cards and seeing these people, building those relationships. So when in the future they need your product or their service, they're going to be I just met somebody at the business after hours and I saw them at the golf tournament too. And I know that they do that. And hey, yeah, I'm definitely going to call them the next time I need that product or service. So it is a lot. And I know these networking events aren't everybody's cup of tea,
Sure.
but we also, once a month, we do what I call our Chamber Connect Zoom room. It's
Ooh.
from noon to 1. We just had it. It's on the third Wednesday of every month, and we just had it last week. And it is exactly like this. It's a link, and it's for all of our chamber members, and they come into the Zoom room, and I just let everybody introduce themselves, network, talk about what they've got going on, what kind of clients and customers they're looking for, and then I give an update on the chamber, what we're doing. So this really is for those chamber members that can't get away to all of our networking events. And we schedule morning events and evening events and noon events, but not everybody can get out of the office. Business owners are busy. Things come up. So this gives a way for people to do it right from their desk and still have an opportunity to learn about the chamber and do a lot of networking with whoever happens to be in the Zoom room that day. So that's one thing that we do to try to be as flexible as we can so people can get into that networking and share what they're doing.
Well, and you guys also have a wonderful member center there, with a lot of resources on
Yes.
hand. Of course, you and your staff are super busy, but do make time if you set an appointment to come in. But there's a lot of resources available, just to pick up. Talk a little bit about some of the things out there, or what even maybe some of your chamber members could do to take advantage of that.
So in 2020, we actually moved our offices from our previous office space, which had been in downtown Farmington,
Mm-hmm.
to the Quality Center for Business, which is the Enterprise Center here at San Juan College. So the Enterprise Center is an incubator and for new businesses. There's also a maker space located in this building. In addition to that, the SBDC is located in this building, and Four Corners Economic Development is also in this building, and West, which is the Women's Entrepreneurial Center, is in this building. So because of that, all these business resources are aligned. We're in the same building. So if you come in to meet with the SBDC and we're just down the hall at the chamber, once you kind of met with Carmen or one of her team, then come on down to the chamber. We'll talk about what we do. We also have a great display board right in our lobby where we're putting everybody's brochures and business cards. And so it's a lot of collaboration is happening because we don't have to schedule meetings with each other. We just run into each other in the hallway, right, or by the coffee maker and say, hey, I'm doing this, or we're going to be doing a business builder workshop. Let me send you the flyer so you can send it to your clients and the people you work with. So I think that's one of the things that we did, was rather than just have everything sort of scattered in one place or another, by moving the chamber to the Enterprise Center, to the Quality Center for Business. Again, it just kind of helped align everybody and helps to collaborate, but also helps those new business people, those entrepreneurs, to come in and see all these different resources that are here for them to be successful. So I really think that's something key. I do miss being downtown. I do try to get downtown often, especially to eat and go visit our chamber members down there, because I do miss kind of that downtown atmosphere. But I think having the chamber, our Farmington Chamber located here on the campus of San Juan College, was a really good move.
Well, I think that it Totally makes sense. Talk a little bit about your leadership. Talk a little bit about your board of directors,
Yeah.
and some of the projects that they're working on.
So we have a board made up of 17 and they board members, and they all represent sort of different industry, everything from healthcare to banking and small business, restaurants, small business owners. And so we have a very involved board of directors, and I communicate with them regularly. So they are always invited to all of our ribbon cuttings. They are invited to attend any of our events because we like to see our board involved with these businesses. And they all represent business too. So they all understand that. And then as I mentioned, we have a number of different events that we do throughout the year. And so our board helps with that. And we have committees like most chambers do. We have an events and legislative affairs and our red coats. Those are our ambassadors. And then we do go to Santa Fe every year for the legislative session, and we make sure our board is informed about that so that if they can attend during that time, they are aware of that. So we do board elections at the end of the year, and people's terms, run out. And so we do board elections. We have ex officio board members. Our board meets once a month here at our offices at the chamber, and we usually have a guest speaker. Not always, but we usually do. So they take about 15 to 20 minutes, talk about whatever it is they're in there to present on. But it's a great way for our board to always kind of hear what's going on in the larger community. And so sometimes these things are focused right in Farmington, but not always. Sometimes we have somebody in from San Juan County. We recently did a whole lunch presentation, and we had about 65 people there on the Four Corners Regional Airport. People ask a lot of questions about the airport. Are we going to get commercial flights again? Why don't we have commercial flights now? So we had the airport manager do a very good presentation, and we did open that up to the public. And as I said, we had about 60 people attend so that they could hear his presentation. So we try to do a lot of different things like that, so that we can help share what's going on with the business community. And likewise, we can hear from the business community so we know what's going on, and we can be aware and stay up to date on those things.
Well, and it is amazing how things change and evolve, because as you'd mentioned, a lot of oil and gas in the area, and of course now going to more green energy technologies. I noticed that on your website you had a Four Corners Energy Conference.
Yes.
Did that recently happen, or is it coming up, or is it an annual event?
It just happened in May, and it happens every other year. So our Four Corners Energy Conference was previously known as Four Corners Oil and Gas, and it is an every other year conference. So we had one this year, and then we won't have one until 2026.
Okay.
So one shift that happened was it was previously the Oil and Gas Conference, but we know there are a lot of different energy sectors now that need to get connected. And so now that conference is focusing, still there's oil and gas and extractive industries, but also solar and hydrogen and these different energies that we're hearing about. So they're kind of rebuilding that conference and making those connections. And so they have guest speakers that come in and talk. And so we just had it in May, wrapped it up, and it is a 2-day conference. So the next one will be most likely in May of 2026. One other thing that we did this year that we haven't done in a big way, we tested it out last year, but we did it in a big way this year, was our Business to Business Expo. We realized that with the chamber, that is something unique that we can do, is we are bringing businesses together so that they can work together. Right. So we did a Business to Business Expo. It was very well received. So I think we'll actually be growing that next year as well. But that is something unique that the chamber does, is we're not necessarily marketing to your customers. That's not really that's not our job. There are marketing and advertising companies that do that. We are more about bringing businesses together so that they can work and collaborate together. So that was something we did in June, and are already planning for next year on that.
That sounds like a lot of neat things going on. Your proximity to the reservation as well. How much connection do you have working with the Native community?
So we do have a very good relationship. We signed a MOU with the Dene Chamber years ago,
Okay.
and trying to share our resources and let them know what we're doing to make sure that we know what they're doing, so that if we have classes or resources or a business builder workshop, that they're aware that that's going on. They do have some different business models on the reservation, and
Sure.
so it's learning about that. We just attended, we didn't host this, but I actually attended and volunteered, was a broadband summit, and that brought together a lot of leaders within the Native American community, the whole region, because broadband is a real issue. And it really came to the forefront, of course, during COVID, when people were trying to do school at home and work from home, as we talked about earlier. And those items that those issues of connectivity really came up. So there was a broadband summit. Again, I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago, bringing together a lot of different people that had knowledge to share, resources to share, or wanted to learn more. So we are doing a lot of work. And again, collaboration is something we do really, really well here in San Juan County. So I'm on the board of Four Corners Economic Development. Their director is an ex officio on my board of directors. We're meeting all the time. We're sharing information. I share information with our Visitors Bureau. I'm working with the other chambers. What's going on? How can we share? So it's very important to us that we don't just hang on to our piece of it. We're not siloed, because we understand we're all going to succeed if we work together and share information. It's of no benefit to me if I am doing all these things and I'm not going to share them with anybody else. Or if I find out about a grant or a workshop or something like that, it's to my benefit to share that information. So I think we do that really, really well here in San Juan County.
Yeah, my perception is that you guys are you're very dynamic too. I think it's one of the things that most people don't realize when they think of chambers of commerce, right? They think about maybe how they've been in the past, and it's a group of business leaders that've been on the board for years,
Yes.
and that's really not what's going on. As you mentioned, even your membership has evolved and changed based on the industry there. How would be the best way for people to connect? I know you got a great website, gofarmington.com, but is there other ways you suggest for people to connect?
Yes, we have a great Facebook page, of course, our Farmington Chamber of Commerce, and we do have our website, and we are getting ready to do a rebrand of that website. So it's hopefully going to be changing the way it looks in the next 6 months. But our website, and of course, our email addresses are on our website, and we love it when people reach out to us. We love it when people stop by. We like to know if people are going to stop by, because we are out and about a lot.
Yeah.
So just last week, I think we had 3 different ribbon cuttings. We had one of our Focus on Farmington coffees. So we were out of the office quite a bit at these different events. So it is best if you just call and make sure we're going to be here, or send us a Facebook message or an email so I can make sure we're here. And that's one of the things I do want to mention is our Focus on Farmington coffee, because that's something I actually started before I ever came to work for the chamber. And it is a free coffee that we do once a month, and we move it around to different locations that are of interest to people in the area, and really designed so that when these new people move to our community, they are invited to these coffees. And so they can find out what's going on and they can feel connected right away. So once I started at the chamber, the coffees kind of naturally came under the chamber, but they are still open to anybody in the community. They're always free. I've done them in Aztec before, trying to connect with the Aztec community. So that's something I think any chamber could do, or any organization. It's just free coffee, and you just invite everybody. It's got its own Facebook page. And this last week, we had one at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. It's called Trace.
Wow. Yeah.
So people came to that coffee and learned all about Habitat for Humanity and what they're doing to help build homes for families. And so they got people signing up to volunteer, interested on the board. So that's why we do those coffees. It's like, here, come to find out something you didn't know anything about. And they're great. We've been doing them now for probably 9, almost 10 years.
Wow, that's fantastic. Hey, Jamie, thank you for your time. I know you're super busy. I'm glad that we could get this together. Those of you that are listening, just keep an eye on bbb.org for upcoming events. As a matter of fact, our next chamber chat is going to be with the cannabis chamber here in New Mexico. We will be at their event later this week in Southwest New Mexico in Las Cruces. So definitely check us out. And remember, your local chambers of commerce are here with boots on the grounds, here to help you support your business. And of course, the Better Business Bureau is always here to help you, promote your reputation and your legacy marketing. Thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of it. And next time you're in Farmington, make sure you stop by the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. This is David Swope of the Better Business Bureau here serving New Mexico and Southwest Colorado.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business and find one anytime at bbb.org.